In continuing coverage, a verdict was reached by a jury today in day 7 of the murder trial of an Iron County man. James Clement was convicted of involuntary manslaughter and lying to a peace officer in a violent crime investigation. TV6's Houghton Hancock Bureau reporter Colin Jackson shares when we can expect Clement to see his sentencing.
Count 1, second-degree murder. The jury finds the defendant guilty of the lesser offense of involuntary manslaughter. Count 2, lying to a peace officer. The jury finds the defendant guilty of lying to a peace officer for a violent crime investigation.
This was the jury's verdict in the murder trial of 71-year-old James Clement of Iron County, following nearly 3.5 hours of deliberation. Clement was accused of killing Ralph Sherman, with original charges being filed in 2021. He faced 4 felony charges, including second-degree murder and manslaughter. Clement was also denied bail and will be remanded pending his sentencing.
I do not think that Mr. Clement poses a threat to society. But he has been found guilty, and the presumption of innocence no longer applies.
Before the verdict, both the defense and prosecution gave their closing arguments to the jury. Clement's defense attorney, Daryl Waters, spoke to the jury about a lack of definitive evidence that Clement was guilty.
Let Ralph Sherman rest in peace. Ask you to give Jim Clement peace. Ask you to end this nightmare. Deliberate, we'll look at all the evidence. Look at the lack of evidence. Where is it? Find Jimmy not guilty.
Iron County prosecutor Chad DeRuin urged the jury to use common sense and reason, citing the presented evidence. He asked the jury to find Clement guilty of all charges, or to consider involuntary manslaughter if not unanimous on the second-degree murder charge.
I would argue that there's substantial evidence to prove that the defendant either intended to kill, intended to do great bodily harm, or to create a very high risk of death or great bodily harm, knowing that death or such harm would be the likely result of his actions.
In Michigan, the penalty for involuntary manslaughter is a prison sentence of up to 15 years. Clement's sentencing is scheduled for March 3rd at 10:30 in the morning. Colin Jackson, TV6 News, Crystal Falls.